Well, hello, folks. This is Steve A, and I have a new name. I've changed the name of the channel from A Voice in the Desert to A Voice in the City. And this is Steve A, and I'm coming to you from the city of Chicago, actually suburban Chicago, and that's where I'm broadcasting from. Today, what we're going to be talking about is learning to love like Jesus. And the question I have for all of you guys, are you loving like Jesus? But before I get to the topic today, there is some news that I want to share. Starting Wednesday, the 21st, my friend James Carter and I, with his website, in which I will put it down in the comments below or in the bottom of my page, a voice crying in the desert.com, and that's going to be his outreach. We're going to have an outreach this week in at Camp Bullfrog State Park in Willow Springs, and it's going to be a time of fellowship and prayer and outreach. And I encourage all of you to join us. And I may do a video or two. We'll see what we do. But it's at the Camp Bullfrog State Campground Park, which is in southern Illinois. We're going to have a time of fellowship and prayer. So I hope you'll take the opportunity and join us. But today I want to talk about what are you doing to bring others to Christ? What are you doing to help others that don't know Jesus? And there are many ways that we can actually reach out to others that don't know him. There are many ways that you can do it. You can do it in the workplace, maybe where you work. Maybe you don't work for a Christian company like I do. Maybe you work for a secular workplace. Maybe there's a coworker at your work that you can reach out that doesn't know Jesus. What are you doing to reach out to them? Are how are you reacting to people when you go out shopping? What about when you go to the store? Are you showing your love to Jesus? Are you showing your love to them? Um, what are you doing to just reach out to the drunk, reach out to the lost? There are so many people in our society that need to know the love of Jesus, and I'm afraid to say, unfortunately, that includes people from the LGBTQ community, and they need to know Jesus's love too. And it is your duty. It is your duty, folks, to reach out to them and show them the love of Jesus. It could be going for a walk in the park with your dog. It might be just a quick hello. It might be just maybe as hard as it is. It doesn't mean that you're gonna love their sin or love their behavior, but it means you're gonna be showing your love on them and you're gonna showing the love of Jesus. It may mean being their friend. It might mean bringing them into your home and inviting them to dinner and with their children. It means showing the love of Christ. It's not about just shutting them out and not talking to them. You have to do everything in your power to show those who don't know Jesus the love of Jesus. So I want to take this. I want to take this as an example. There's a man in the Bible. His name is Zacchaeus, and he was a tax collector. And it says, Jesus reached out to a sinner. He chose Zacchaeus out of the crowd. Although it was unclean for a religious Jew to enter the house of a public sinner, Jesus invited himself into Zacchaeus' home. Jesus did not care others grumbled. His mission was to seek and save the lost. Jesus saved Zacchaeus. He called Zacchaeus the son of Abraham, a title of identity and privilege among God's chosen people, an identity religious leaders would have held from known sinners. So here's an example of Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was a traitor who stole from his people. He took effort to get a clear view of Jesus. When Christ invited himself into Zacchaeus' home, Zacchaeus joyfully received him. Zacchaeus' faith saves him. And Abraham says, Jesus identifies him as a member of God's family. Zacchaeus responded in faith by returning from the sin to follow Christ. greatly blessing the poor and repairing the damage of his sin. Like Zacchaeus, God has called out of a crowd. Jesus invited himself into your home. You received him by faith. By the Spirit, you were born into God's family. So, what is impresses you about Zacchaeus? Well, by allowing Zacchaeus, despite of the bad sinful behavior, all of that doesn't mean you're justifying it, brings him into his home and showing his love and compassion and helping him lead him to Christ and being part of his family. So those are some of the things that you have to do, and you have to learn how to love people that nobody else would love, or no one else Jesus would love. Now, for those of you who don't want to love, there are many solutions, and I'm all about solutions. And I've heard about all the other side. I understand that there are people out there that there are all these issues out there with LGBTQ men in the girls' bathroom, and about women in men's sports, men and women's sports. I understand all these issues, and I'm all about solutions. And these are some of the things that you could do, which I don't necessarily recommend. Now, if you could take some of those members. You could take members of the LGBT community, and you could take one of them. You could do what they did in the late 60s. You could take them to a mental institution. You could strap them to a bed and give them conversion therapy. Those are things that you could do, but that is not very godly, and that is not something that I recommend you do. So unfortunately, I will say to those, you have to learn how to love people that no one else would love. That doesn't mean you're justifying their behavior. That just means you're showing their love onto them. And if you show your love onto them, hopefully that they'll be able to see Jesus for who he is. But hating on them is not necessarily the answer. You have to be the way Jesus was to Zacchaeus. You have to show your love to people that no one else would love. And that includes, just there's a lot of people out there that don't know Jesus. What about the prostitute on the street? What about the drug addict? What about the homeless man? What about the person that's out there that is just simply mentally ill? About all these different, what are you going to do to bring him to Christ? What are you going to do to bring him to Jesus? Are you going to pray for him? Are you going to bring them into your home? Are you going to cook them a meal? Are you going to slip them a few bucks? What are you doing to help out the homeless in your community? Are you doing everything you can to help them find shelter? Are you doing everything you can to see that they get a home cooked meal? What are you doing for your community? Are you doing everything but just talking? Or are you just sitting there and not doing anything about it? Or are you just going out there and going out there and looking for ways to pass laws to control people's behavior? And I understand that all these issues are sensitive to a lot of Christians, and I understand all the things that Christians do, or some things that people do. That includes people who get abortions and people who murder their babies. And I understand all that, and I agree with you 100%. But going out there looking to elect politicians that are going to go out there to pass laws to require them to behave the way we want them to behave is not the answer. There is nothing that you can do or I can do to force them to believe the same way that we Christians believe. All you can do is by showing them the love of Jesus, that they will turn from their ways and they will stop being that way. That goes for anybody. That goes for the person that's the prostitute, the exotic dancer, the drug addict, the alcoholic. There are so many people out there that need to know the love of Jesus. Maybe they're at home, maybe they're suffering from a porn addiction. Maybe they're suffering from addiction from alcohol. Maybe they're suffering from addiction from drugs. It is your job to see that they get help. It is your job to see that you should be out there helping them. If you really love Jesus, as you say, then show them the love of Jesus. Put your hand on them. Pray for them. Do what you can to show them their love. Maybe if they're in need, maybe help them get shelter, help them get clothes, help them get food. Do something very constructive for your community instead of just criticizing people that you don't like or you don't agree with. Now, as I'm saying, you don't have to like their behavior. There's a lot of things that I don't like, but there's not much I can do about it except showing the love of Christ. Now, for those of you out there who have daughters out there and who are dads out there, and I totally understand what you're saying about men entering the boys' about the of the so-called LGBTQ people, about men entering the boys' bathroom, or they're participating in boys' sports, or maybe your child is in a public school and they're teaching your child LGBTQ propaganda. And I totally understand both sides of it, and no, I'm on your side. I don't have any children myself, but I guess if I had a daughter, I do fully understand what you're saying, and you have a right to feel that way. But I don't feel that there's any law out there that you're going to pass that is going to stop these people. Even if you make it against the law, they're still going to keep sinning either way. So I will say that there are many solutions that I would like to tell you that if you are in a public school and you don't like your kids being taught propaganda, there's things that you can do, and what are some things that I strongly recommend that you should do. I would recommend homeschooling. That would be a very good option as well. I know that that is very difficult for some parents. I would recommend homeschooling 100% more than public school, especially the way the public schools now. Or another option is putting your kids in a good private Christian school. Now, it might cost you maybe some of these private schools now are averaging between 13 and 20 grand per year, depending on what you can find. Or maybe there's a way that you can get some sort of financial assistance, aid, or something. Maybe if you belong to a local Christian church, there are organizations out there that, at least from what I know about, and I live here in Illinois, that will actually help pay for your child or your significant other to go to a good private Christian school. And there are many good private Christian schools out there. So those are some of your many options. There's homeschooling, there's private school. So those are some things that you can do. But for those who might not be able to do anything about it, unfortunately, you may have to learn to live with some of the things that you may have to learn how to bear and learn. Your child may have to learn about LGBTQ propaganda. There's also another option that you can do if you're unhappy with what's going on in the schools. I would encourage, if you're a parent right now, run for your school board. Get involved with your child's education. Most importantly is, running for the school board, getting more involved in your child's education. Find out what your child is learning each and every day. Talk to your child. Find out. Take a look at some of the textbooks and find out what your child is learning. And it is important to speak out. But there are a lot of things, there are a lot of solutions that you can do. There's a lot of that you can push back against it, and I understand both sides of it. But as I said before in the beginning, voting for people that are going to pass laws that are going to force you to believe what us Christians want them to do doesn't always work, and it's not going to stop people from doing what they do. So my biggest thing is that we have to learn how to love people. We have to show them the love of Christ. If there's somebody out there that needs prayer, give it to them. If there's somebody out there that's feeling suicidal, or somebody out there that is in need of food, or is in need of clothing, or is maybe there's a single mother out there that you can bless that doesn't that is raising a child alone. Maybe you can go out there and bless on her, help her, help her go shopping, help her do things, be her friend. Be her friend. You don't have to do it by being weird. Even better, would be better is do something nice for somebody and don't even tell them about it. Just, you don't have to have an agenda by it. All you have to do is just show them that God loves them and that you care about them and you want to do something significant. So those are some of many things that you can do to be helping out the lost. And that is going to be just going out there, talking to people, doing something of what we're going to be doing. And one of the things that we're going to be doing at this outreach this week, starting May 21st through the 24th. So that's going to be this Saturday at Bullfrog State Campground in Willow Springs, Illinois. So it's just somewhere down here in the south suburbs. So I may do a video with my friend James Carter. He's going to be out there and we're going to be going around the campground. We're going to be there for 3 or 4 days. So it's just going to be the 3 days of outreach and prayer. It might be just doing videos, talking to people, showing God's love to people who encounter us. So that's going to be our agenda for this coming week. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share with you. So I think our most important thing that we need to be doing is showing our love to others and showing the love of Christ. And my question to you is, what are you doing out there? What are you doing to bless other people? What are the churches doing? If you're in a church community, what are you doing outside your church community? Are you doing things outside your church to bless other people? Not necessarily in the building, but what are you doing out there in the world? Out there in your workplace, out at the grocery store, out at the gas station, when you go shopping. What about on the road? How are you dealing with angry drivers or people who might have road? What are you doing to show the love of Christ to other people? Are you doing your part? So I know I'm trying to do my part, and to show the love of Jesus. I just want to know what you guys are doing. So I think everybody has a role to play in our society. And the only way we're going to bring people to Christ in this world is that we have to start somewhere, and we have to start showing our love to Christ, because if we don't do that, things most necessarily won't change. No law, no president, no Supreme Court is going to fix your life. The only person that is going to bring people to Christ is you and me and the rest of the community. So that's all I wanted to share with everybody this morning. So this is Steve A. and A Voice in the City, and I will be speaking to you in a few days with my friend James Carter, as he will be here, and I will have a link to our outreach on the bottom of this page. So this is a Steve A. and a Voice in the City, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye bye.